Welcome to the Complete Fitness Podcast with Core for Complete Fitness. Your episode is starting in 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, peoples? The first one from Mr. Cory in 2023. It is January 10th, 2023. We started a new year. And like always, guys, before we get going, I know we don't run ads on this thing except for our supplements. So I'll keep it short and quick. But if you need anything, guys, head to core4supplements.com. Get your hands on whatever you need. Protein, creatine, pre-workout, the whole 9 yards. We got it all there. And if you use the code word podcast, you'll save 10% off everything. And if you could be so kind as to share this podcast with anybody and everybody, if this has helped you in any way, or if there's somebody out there that you know this podcast could help, if you could share that with them, subscribe to the podcast. It'll help us grow this thing. And ultimately, we'll keep cranking this out to help you guys every single week. Now, 2023 starts, and I touched on this a little bit last week with everybody's resolutions. Everybody has all these goals of what they want to accomplish, but people tend to put the cart before the horse, and they just think in terms of exercise, and they forget about 90% of the equation. You know, exercise, if we're being truthful, is a small sliver of what we do. It's an important small sliver, but there's so much more that goes into it in terms of being healthy and taking care of yourself. One of the best quotes I ever heard at a fitness conference, they said, you know, you hear that thing about the 80-20 rule between exercise and nutrition, that 80% is diet and 20% is exercise, but that 20% of exercise drives the 80% of nutrition, right? If you're getting to the gym and you're taking care of yourself and you're exercising, how much more prone are you going to be to probably eating healthy, to not wanting to, you know, undo or unravel your workout because you worked hard for 30, 45 minutes in the gym? You're not going to want to go home and undo all that progress. So that's why it's so important to stay on track with your workouts, to make sure that you're staying on track with everything else. One of the best analogies that I can give is, I might have said it before, but if you think of your body in terms of an automobile, right? Your car needs certain stuff to operate the way it was designed to. It needs gas, it needs windshield wiper fluid. I guess it doesn't need that, but it needs oil changes. It needs to get the tires rotated. It needs air in the tires. And when you first get it, you can probably go, hey, this thing is shiny and new still. I can push it another 3,000 miles before I get an oil change. And it might happen. And that might, you know, be completely true. But all of a sudden you get to a tipping point where those oil changes you skipped, or those tire rotations you skipped, or the constant, you know, slamming on the accelerator, pumping on the brakes right away, that starts to wear on your car. And then before you know it, you're like, crap, this thing is running like junk. I don't know how much longer this thing's going to make it. I got to get myself a new automobile. And you guys can probably seen this with people, or if you know friends that are like this, there's people that get a car day one. Let's say there's 2 blue trucks, right? And they just roll off the lot. And one blue truck, the guy, just like I said, never gets oil changes, never gets the tires rotated, just treats it like garbage, leaves it outside. It gets, you know, and thrown in front of all the elements. And in 5 years, that guy returns his car and it probably looks like crap, right? It's dilapidated. It's making noises. It's barely running. The thing is kind of hanging on by a thread. And there's another person, the other guy that drove the car off the lot at the exact same time, that just kept doing what he was supposed to do and go, hey, if I need an oil change, I got to do it now. If I got to rotate the tires, I got to do it now. If I need wiper fluid, I got to do it now. Not that he's, you know, completely running himself ragged, but he's just staying on schedule with what he knows to do. And that guy returns his car at the same time, and it looks exactly the same as it did 5 years ago. There's not a dent on the thing. It's shiny still. It's humming, brand new. Both of those guys drove the car off the lot the exact same time, but you can see what the person that actually took a little bit of time to plug in those small little details, 1% there, 1% there, how they all added up to make sure that that car sticks with them for years and years to come. And there's people in that same breath that, you know, have a car for 5 years or 10 years, And the thing is a piece of garbage. I have a friend that I was in high school. If my friends are watching, you know exactly who I'm talking about. They got a brand new shiny vehicle, or if you're watching, you know who you're talking about. Um, and we ran that thing into the ground. It was a great car. It was a beautiful car. It was an SUV. He was the first of our friends to actually get a car. So when he got it, that was like the party wagon. RIP to that automobile. And then there's people that have cars for freaking decades, 20, 30 years that are crispy clean, still sparkly. There's not a tear in the leather, there's nothing going on, but it's because they're taking care of it and they're doing the things over and over that they know is going to benefit them years to come. And your body is exactly the same way, right? I think people get so focused in on the workout portion, thinking that they can just go, I'm going to only do this. Maybe it's like the analogy I can give you is I'll be talking about cars a lot today. Is just putting gas in the car and ignoring your oil changes, right? You can't just do that. You can't just work out and eat like crap all the time. You also got to make sure that you're, exercising. You're keeping your body strong, you're keeping your bone density there, you're keeping your heart strong, you're keeping everything healthy. So you're moving from point A to point B. Um, and if you're not doing that, it's going to be really, really tough. You can eat a great diet, but physically, you still need to be strong, right? That's why it's important to exercise. That's why we do it. And then the other thing is mentally, you need to know it's not just kind of burning the candle or wick at one end. This past month, of course, like for the holidays, I know it's crazy for everybody, but like our family made a pact after Thanksgiving. We're taking emergency vitamin C every night. We're taking elderberry every single night. We were taking our green supplement. Look at that. Core4supplements.com, daily greens. We're taking that every single day. And I'm like, there's no way I'm getting sick this year because we're taking all this stuff. I'm drinking tons of water. And sure enough, the week of Christmas, my wife gets sick. She gives it to me. I get sick. Our kids get sick, and we just pass this thing around for like 2 to 3 weeks. So what I'm trying to get to is you have to know those signs too on giving your body a little bit of a break and a little bit of a rest, right? Just like a car. So there's going to be times you got to kind of take it into the repair shop, but you do that so you can have it for years and years and years to come, where you can probably go, yeah, I can push this thing for another week or another month, but I really know I got to get it into the shop and have them kind of fix and tune up whatever it is. Your body's the same way. You can't just keep kind of hammering it into the ground without giving it a little bit of a break. So what does a break look like? You want to think in terms of how much sleep am I getting a night? How much water am I drinking? Am I only just filling up on caffeine and juice and stuff like that? You got to make sure you're getting in your water. All this kind of accumulates into one big thing that is your life, and that is kind of your well-being of you. And if you keep just focusing on one aspect, you forget you have all these other pillars that you have to focus on, right? When we're exercising or just throughout our day-to-day life, obviously with how busy we are, we get run down. We have kids, we have families, we have jobs, we got to still exercise, we still got to go shopping, we got crap we got to do with the house, you got family obligations. So you need to rest. You can't just go, I'm going to stay up till 11 or 12 every night and then wake up at the crack of dawn and expect to be a productive member of society. You got to make sure that you're kind of recognizing these patterns or these signals that your body's giving you. Just like if it's a car, if it's making a weird noise, you got to take it to go get looked at to figure out what the heck is going on. Same thing. If you're feeling run down, if you're feeling under the weather, you have to go, okay, I have to do this in order to benefit me for years and years and years to come. And that's ultimately how you get healthy and stay healthy. Now, with diet, this is the biggest thing, I think, and biggest kind of headache that people give themselves is I think that a lot of people think that being on a diet or eating what you should eat means that you have to be miserable. And it means that you can't have any fun. And it means that you can never enjoy yourself. And it means that you just have to stick to this regimen day in, day out. And there is some truth to that. And there's a lot of falsehood for that. I might have told you guys before, but people, generally speaking, are too quick to give themselves a cheat meal or a break. They kind of round themselves up. So let's say, I'm going to say, just because everybody always wants to start on a Monday, let's say Monday comes and you've been out of shape for, let's say, 30 years. You haven't taken care of yourself, haven't gone to the gym, your diet's all over the place. and you go, all right, Monday is the day that everything changes. I'm going to do this and I'm going to get from point A to point B. Monday comes and everything's squeaky clean. It's new, it's fresh, you're excited. Tuesday comes, same thing. You're like, oh, I kind of want to cheat a little bit, but it's only 2 days. I'm good. Wednesday comes, and here's where you're like, okay, maybe I can just have a pop. Maybe I can just have a handful of Skittles. The rest of my diet's really good. 90% is way better than before, but maybe I can just have a little bit of this. Thursday comes, and Susie Q from the office goes, hey, do you want to go out for dinner? Do you want to go out for drinks? You've been doing so good Monday through Wednesday. Surely you can go out Thursday night just this one time and just go out and have a drink, or we'll split a pizza or whatever it is. You've worked out or were good for 3.5 days, which is, if you put it into the grand scheme, only half of the week. Friday comes, you know what Friday is. You're going to want to go see a movie or do something. Saturday, same thing. Sunday, same thing. And then you go, oh, I messed up this past week, but temptation was there. I had to go out with Susie Q, and now Monday's coming and I'll just start up over again. You have to be able to look yourself in the face honestly and go, do I deserve a reward for just doing the things that I was doing, right? You can't screw up for 30 years and expecting 3 days to all of a sudden give yourself a little treat because you were good for 72 hours. You have to go, okay, this is the new me. It's going to take time. Give yourself reward for those milestones, whether it's 25 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds, all that is fine. But you can't be so quick to jump the gun and go like, okay, I'm going to give myself a treat because I was good for 3 days or 4 days. And then the wheels fall off for the next three. You have to be able to go, I'm in this for the long haul. I will get a reward eventually. But if I want to move the needle, I have to kill off some of my old habits. Just like with the automobile, right? You wouldn't go, I'm going to drive this thing like Miss Daisy for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to beat the living hell out of this thing. I'm going to rev the engine. I'm going to slam on the brakes. I'm going to, put shitty gas in it. I'm going to put sugar in my gas tank. And then Monday comes and you're like, well, I don't know why I didn't lose any weight. I don't know why I didn't do this. Why is my car running like crap? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I was good, but the rest of the time I was terrible. So you have to realize, if you're going to move yourself from point A to point B and you want this healthy lifestyle, a healthy body, and a healthy depiction of you, you have to find something consistent that you can do day in and day out. And once you hit those treats, or let's say, like I said, you lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, if you want to go out for pizza to celebrate one time, cool. But generally you'll know when it's time to give yourself a cheat meal, or have a snack, or have a piece of candy, or have a drink, because you won't want to do it. You will have progressed to a point where you go, I've come so far and I feel so good and I have so much energy that I don't want to go back to where it was dark. And I don't want to go back to that old me that didn't sleep or didn't skip workouts and was tired all the time. And you go, I've progressed so much and I feel good. The last thing that I want is to make myself feel like that old person that used to be there. So that's how you'll kind of have an idea. And that's how you'll kind of know when it's time. Not just because you're having a weak moment, not because you're getting invited out somewhere, but it's because you actually have a reward system built in place to where you're like, damn it, I earned this, but I really don't want to do it. And that's kind of how you know where you've crossed over to the other side. But again, guys, it's not just trying to work out. It's not just trying to do nutrition. It's not running yourself into the ground. It's not spending 2 hours into the gym. Being a healthy individual is taking all those facets and plugging them all in together. And none of them have to be perfect. The reason why there's so many facets like that, because if one starts to slack, you have the other ones to kind of help you out. Maybe just like I was talking about, when I was sick, I didn't work out for, I think, a week or 10 days. I did squats and I did deadlifts, but just stuff to where I could kind of keep my heart rate lower and very low intensity. I basically just did old school kind of weightlifting stuff just to keep my muscles strong. But I didn't gain a pound. And part of it was because I had to double down on my diet and go, I feel like crap. I'm not eating garbage. I have to get better. give my body a break. I can still kind of work my muscles without sending myself into overdrive, but I have to kind of do what I need to do for this week or these 10 days to progress myself from point A to point B. So ultimately, guys, you have all these facets to kind of help you out in place. If it means you have to take a rest day or a rest week, then you have nutrition and you have rest and you have all this stuff to help you out. If it means that you're on vacation, maybe your diet isn't as great, but as long as you're exercising, maybe there's a hotel gym, maybe you're going for walks on the beach, all this stuff works together. And when you have the harmonious months, or weeks and weeks and weeks, or months and months and months, that's when you really start to crush it and you really start to see results in the gym. So all these things, again, work synergistically to help you progress from point A to point B. It's not just I work out. It's not just I do nutrition. It's not just I don't sleep or I stay up for a lot of hours of the night. You got to give your mind a break, your body a break. Everything needs rest to kind of balance that out. So that's ultimately how you get healthy, guys, is again, treat your body like it's a car. You wouldn't do that to an automobile where we get one shot on this spinning globe with the body that we have. And there's people that, just like I said, treat it like it's a piece of junk. And then magically they hit a breaking point, and every single time, that's when people go, oh, I need to lose all this weight. And you're like, we got 30 years of work to undo. So you got to realize, I want to lose 100 pounds in 30 days, or I want to lose 100 pounds in 90 days. Like, man, it took you decades to put this on and become an extremely unhealthy individual. You have to realize it might take a year, 2, 3 years to reverse that whole process. We can get the weight to fall off, but you got to make sure that you're, in this for the long haul and not just, oh, I messed up for a bunch of times and I need you to get it off and make it all better real quick. You wouldn't do that to a car. You got to make sure you're not doing it to you. So again, you get one body, treat it like it's an automobile. Don't crash it. Don't run it into the wall. Make sure you're putting the right kind of gas, get your oil changes, do all that stuff. And I guarantee you it'll be around for years and years and years to come. So hopefully that gets you in the right direction for 2023. And then last thing, guys, you know the drill. If you need anything at all, near, far, whether you're from the Midwest, whether you're from anywhere, Canada, go to core4supplements.com. Get whatever you need for yourself. We got some new stuff hopefully coming for you this year. If I was a betting man, I would say probably sooner than later. But again, use the code word podcast at checkout. You'll save 10% off of everything. We have pretty much anything that every major supplement company has. So if you need it, grab what you need and you'll be supporting us along the way, which is a big thank you as well. And then if you spend over $100, you get free shipping on anything and everything. So grab whatever you need, guys. Other than that, make this a great year. Make this a great month. Do those changes that you promised yourself, right? I know it's still early in the month. Everybody kind of this week is back in full steam ahead mode with the kids in school. You're starting back at work. So now is the time to look at the big picture and go, what did I promise myself back January 1st? I was going to get healthy. I was going to take care of myself. Now you got to put your money where your mouth is. Where are you working out? When are you going shopping? Are you bringing your lunch, or are you going to Subway every day still? Now's the time to do that stuff and make those permanent changes for years and years to come. So love you guys. Have a great rest of the year. Have a great rest of the month. And I'll see you guys all in here very, very soon.